When you look back at that rebounding effort, just how, I mean, because that's been a theme, even the Kansas game where you struggled to make shots, you rebounded it pretty well. It seems to be a trend along with the turnovers, I guess. But how would you describe just how well you guys are rebounding the ball? And it's not just Brant, it's not just Taman, it's everybody.
Yeah, I think our commitment on the glass, our rededication, and understanding of how important that is to our success in winning and playing well. And our guys have done a great job. I think as things haven't been perfect in some other areas, the rebounding has been something that has put us in position to be successful and win games. So particularly in the second half of the last two games, we're dominating. It's something that we need to set out to do right away. I think on the offensive glass, it's multiple efforts from our front court players. I think the more the ball moves and the more we know where our shots are coming from, the better those guys can be in great position and know, when the shot's coming and the effort to make. On the defensive glass, our guards have done a tremendous job rebounding down the last few games. Keyshawn especially has been great. Kurt's been great. Taman always chases him down. But I think our guards on the glass have really been terrific in terms of, eliminating second chance opportunities for our opponent. So if we can do a great job, getting our defense set in transition and make another team play against our half-court defense and then limit them to one shot, that's going to be a formula for us to be successful moving forward.
And I'm going to expand on the hammers and daggers thing you talked about. Is one of the reasons hammers maybe are a little bit more, I guess, desirable, it seems like it's more deflating to an opponent when you get the offensive board and put back versus just, we dished it out for a three. Is it any of like a psychological effect, or is it just a toughness-based measure?
Yeah, I think there's a certain psychological element to someone, Brant, Joshua, Deshaun. You do the hard work, you give multiple efforts to get the ball, and then you finish that play off with whether it's a layup, a dunk, authority, right back. There's a certain I don't know what the right way to say it, but there's it's a big time character play, and I think those are really elevating for those guys, especially, I'll just say it with Brant because guys see how hard he works in other areas, and he's not somebody that we necessarily run plays or call on to run plays for offensively. So when he gets it, we get extremely excited. At the same time, in basketball, that's oftentimes the best time to get your best look from three because as well as Kurt or Milan or others shoot it, people are trying to key on taking those shots away. And so whether they're in transition or in that dagger opportunity, that's when you can get the best three. So I don't know that we necessarily prefer one over the other. I would say if it's going to go in the basket, being the mathematician that I am, we would prefer the 3 points over the two. But at the same time, I understand where the hammer, the value comes in the hammer for sure.
What's been your evaluation of Milan since he's been back?
I think he's obviously brought confidence to the group. I think he's moving really well. I think he's got fresh legs. I think when you watch for a while, you get better perspective, like what you need to do, what you can do, what our team needs. I've been happy with his effort on the glass. It hasn't accounted for as many rebounds, but I think he's given better effort to block out and hitting bodies and being cognizant of it. Offensively, it's always going to be a continued theme with him is I want him involved in the action. I want the ball finding him. I'll always, lean into the ball's going to find energy. And when he's screening, slipping out of a screen, on the move, pulling behind on a drive, sprinting in transition, cutting on a drive, that's going to create better offensive opportunities for him as well. So I was really pleased with him last game. Obviously, he was on the court, for the stretch run and close to 30 minutes again. And I feel like his conditioning, he's in a spot where he can do that. I think he's confident. Our guys are confident. I'm confident in him. So I've been pleased with the way he's played, yet I know he's capable of much greater things.
When you talk about his movement, how much of that is to be unpredictable, that a defense can't just sit on him catching and shooting in the corner or in transition and all those things?
Yeah, it's extremely important. And that's why I think with Milan, we don't want him to play as a spacer. We don't want him standing in the corner. We don't want him, just staying away from the ball. We want him involved in everything, because the more involved he is, then that creates harder to cover, right? Teams that don't want to switch, or you do, he's got that size at 6'8". He can get to his spots. I love when he's attacking closeouts and driving the ball to the paint. But to me, his game's far more complete than to just be as a, hey, I'll stay out of the way, and if his shot shows up, I'll take it. We've got to do a great job. I've got to do a great job. He's also got to feel that confidence from us, from his teammates of, hey, my team wants me to do this, needs me to do this, and I'm going to be ultra aggressive to hunt those opportunities.
Then what were your thoughts with that lefty scoop layup that he had? It seemed like a level of creativity that we have seen before, but maybe not consistently.
No, I love that play, man. I love when he's driving the basketball, because he finishes so well with both hands. If he's driving with force and attacking a closeout and keeping his momentum going, he's got all those spins to get to his spot. And I think sometimes when the ball sticks, whether it's him or somebody else, you feel like you have to make this heroic play by yourself, or you have to like make a miracle happen, as opposed to that one that was just organic, his creativity, spin in space, he can finish both hands. We want him to make those type of plays. We know he can hit that step back fadeaway. There's just times where the other team is trying to be ultra physical on that bump, and then guys are loaded up in gaps, so it's tougher to get to your spot. When he's driving it with force through the closeout and getting to those spots, he's really creative finishing.
It's been coming up on 2 months since you added Deontay to the staff. What kind of impact have you seen him bring?
Well, he's a great resource for our guys outside of practice, just based on his experience, right? Wearing the jersey, playing 4 years here, the NBA career he had, the long overseas career. Our guys see his energy. He's in the gym getting shots all the time. He's somebody that just loves to play basketball, loves to get work in. I think that is contagious and been infectious with our guys. He's been terrific in terms of when we need to have another guy out there in a drill or playing. He's really, obviously he's a gifted player, and he's still in great shape to play. And then I think there's a wisdom that he can impart from the things that we're implementing basketball-wise and relatable to his experience and how he can help connect the dots. So been really happy with Deontay. Know he's a great young man, know he's a hard worker, but I think there's a difference between when you do that as a player and now you enter into your coaching career, and he's off to a great start.
Taking minutes from you in practice, then?
I gave those minutes up a long time ago for the betterment of everybody.
And why is it important to have guys who have put on this jersey before and know what it means to be a Cyclone?
Well, I think the pride, and even for Deontay, like, he doesn't take things for granted, because he wasn't fortunate enough to be able to play in the NCAA tournament in his four years, right? He wasn't fortunate enough to be playing the games of the magnitude that we are every night out. So even though when you're ranked or people have expectation, there's different pressures and things that could go along with that. Deontay could shed an experience of, man, what you guys got is awesome. I would have loved to have that. I would have loved to have this game. I'd have loved to play in front of these sellouts on the road. I'd have loved to all the things that our guys are experiencing. And I think he just has such a great perspective that he can give based on the experience that he had here and how much he loves being back.
Obviously, you signed Dom Plita last week. How exciting is it to continue expanding on that 2025 class?
Yeah, no, Dom's really, really excited about him. I mean, versatile, great mover, athlete, guy that, he can make plays off the dribble. He can attack the rim, can make a shot, defensive versatility. He's got a lot of strengths, and being a couple years older than your traditional freshman and the experience he's had really, work well for him. So, we're focused on trying to win every single game that we can and finish this the right way. And at the same time, recruiting is continuous. And so we're really pleased with Dom. I think that he'll be a very exciting addition for our group.
I imagine discovering an international prospect from Germany is a little bit different than someone in the United States who's in high school. Can you walk me through how you guys found him on tape, or what connections you had to his game?
Yeah, Coach Schmidt's done a great job at going overseas to some of the under 19 this or the Albert Schweitzer tournament or just different opportunities you now have to recruit internationally. I think when you commit to it and you go consistently, then you become aware of guys, you see guys, that could be a fit. And so it really was a credit to Coach Schmidt and his efforts going over there consistently, that you can't expect to go once or twice or three times and it's just going to lead to a great player. You've got to build relationships. You've got to be able to see guys in multiple environments and just understand it better. So I'd really give the credit to Coach Schmidt on his consistency and committing to it, and then becoming aware of Dom. And then, we were able to visit him during the season, which was a little bit unique just from a timing standpoint, but it all worked itself out really well.
A little bit different. Signing up for a home and home with Purdue, how exciting is it for you to be able to establish something like that for your program?
No, it's great. And I mean, really grateful to Coach Painter. We had reached out. I'd reached out to him. He's been someone that's been a friend, a mentor. I've learned a lot from him and watched how he's ran his program for a number of years, and the success that they've built and sustained is something I admire. And we wanted an opportunity to play against a team that, again, when you look at not only what they are this year and what they've been, what they'll return and the guys that they'll have back and the program that they'll have. And so as you're trying to continue to take steps forward with your program, having those type of challenges is one way to elevate it. And, I respect Coach Painter at the highest regard. I respect their program and the consistency of the way they've done things. So we know it's going to be a really challenging opportunity to go to Mackey and then when they return here, but it's something that we're excited for, and I'm thankful to Coach Painter for the opportunity.
Coach, to follow up on Dominicus, you've got in the 2025 class a player at each position coming in that group. Is that something that can still be impactful in this day in college basketball where you got fluid rosters and guys leaving all the time?
Yeah, well, I mean, the fluid rosters, I think, is something that we're all dealing with for sure. I don't necessarily know that's a good or a bad. It's just the truth of where things are. For us, we're continuing to try to build it with young guys that we can bring in, our guys that have 4 years of eligibility, that can come in on the front end, that we can develop in our program, that can grow old in our program and that sort of thing. I think it's about finding the right guys that are going to stay through adversity and through the challenges. I think some of the best players that we've been fortunate to coach, as much as we've had some great transfers, have been guys that have grown old or had that experience in our program. And so excited to have a class like that, and I think everybody within that class is able to bring something to the table where they can positively impact our program.
And then if I can ask, and you can keep it private if you want, but the conversation you had with the official at the end of the first half against Cincy, was that helpful? And what did you say to him? What did he say? And did you guys reciprocate each other's thoughts, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, those conversations of, anything with officiating is confidential, and so we're going to keep it that way. That's really all I'll say about it.
TJ, this will be the third time that you guys play Colorado. What are you anticipating for this third matchup, being that it's at home this time?
Yeah, I mean, look, they're coming off a win against Central Florida. I think, they've certainly a coach and a program that I respect, Coach Boyle. I mean, the longevity he's had and what he's been able to accomplish over time. He's a man of great character, and he's built a tremendous program. They were in a spot after this season where they had a lot of new guys coming in, and so I feel like they're the best version of themselves that they have been this season right now. And for us, what do I expect? They're going to come in and compete. I mean, they're going to come in and play hard. I think sometimes we can take for granted, this is what happened last game or the game before. I know he's going to have them ready to play. I know the character of the guys he has. They're going to come in and compete. I know they're going to get on the floor for loose balls. I know they're going to go hard to the offensive glass. I know they're going to run physical offense. So there's all these things that they're going to do. We've been fortunate. I thought we played one of our best games in Maui when we played them the first time, and we were fortunate, and we were down the majority of the game in Boulder and made some big plays and had some runs late to bring us back. So, it's going to take a lot of focus and us coming out right away with great intent and getting off to a great start, because we know that they're going to come in here, hungry to get a winning streak going.